Hey there! SilokHawk is now a Patreon-supported channel supported by people such as MXLucku, Abby Knutson, Rami Batter, Jaden Bass, and Ewan McDonald. If I butchered any of those, please let me know so I don't do it again. Either way, thank you guys all so much. Really quick before I get to the review though, what happened to the Smash video? The answer? I'm still working on it. The video is taking me a lot longer than I expected. I'm compositing tons of things, heavy editing, animations, the works. I'm really excited to finish it and see what we all think of it, but until then, I wanted to get something out in the meantime. That being said, I hope you enjoy this quick review. Also, this is usually the part where I'd play my animated intro, but that's getting worked on too, so... I know I'm usually in the minority of my opinions and general taste, but the lack of press this game has got is astonishing to me. Pac-Man is an icon of gaming. He used to be such a big deal, but these days I guess he's not hip enough to the hang of the cool kids. Pac-Man ain't Undertale! Speaking of minority opinions, I was personally really excited for this game. Yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, god that's a mouthful, is one of my all-time favorite arcade-styled games. It was fast, chaotic, and the closest you could get to an LSD trip without injecting yourself with something. Until about a week ago when Bandai Namco started selling doses of Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. Seriously, when you compare DX to its sequel, I mean wow. There's long-ass ghost chains, jump pads, giant boss ghosts. The game is so visually stimulating that sometimes I forget I'm playing a game. I think I'm at a rave. Rave Simulator 2016!
So what do you guys think? Pretty cool simulator, huh?
For the last time, Robbie, we don't make simulators. Bandai Namco is a game developing company. Who the hell even hired you?
Whatever, just put Pac-Man in there or something. People eat that shit up. Thomas, I thought you were... No hard feelings for me shooting you in the face, right?
I like hiking! And as if the graphics weren't enough, the music really is something you hear at a rave. Blah 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 graphics, blah 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 music. How's the actual game? Pac-Man CE 2 plays very similarly to DX, but that's not to say veterans of the previous game will immediately understand this one, because that's definitely not the case. The biggest changes in Pac-Man CE 2 are 1. There are 4 ghost trains wandering the map opposed to DX's single train, and 2. Ghosts don't immediately kill you. You can bounce into them once or sometimes even twice without aggravating them, but once they do become aggro, they will make a beeline towards you. Sometimes they'll even juke you like in the original game, which is 10 times more difficult to deal with when you're moving around this fast. And no, there isn't any more slow-mo to save you from collision. I've heard people complain about the fact that ghosts won't immediately kill you, but complaining about this is overlooking the point of the game. The game is no longer about getting to the stage of the pretzel so you can look at your friend and be like, dude, look, I'm all the way at the stage of the pretzel! There's a time limit now, and the whole game is centered around doing everything as fast as you can because of that. Losing a life is a much bigger deal than it was in the original games. In fact, it's absolutely detrimental if you want to get a high score. Other changes from DX include the fact that now eating all the Pac dots is not required to move on to the next stage, which is a much appreciated change. Bombs no longer send all the ghosts back to the center, but rather bombs send you to the center now, which again is a much appreciated change because now you don't have to mess up your flow every time you're about to get fucked. And finally, the transitions from stage to stage are much better. In Championship Edition DX, the stage would sometimes change while you were entering it. Like, come on, how is that remotely fair? In its sequel, however, you get a shot of the entire stage before you enter it, allowing you to make a quick game plan of what route you're going to take. Don't feel too overwhelmed though, because before you start the real deal, the game runs you through a few quick tutorials to get you caught up on the mechanics of the game, some of which are a lot less obvious than you would think. Like when you're about to take a turn, you can hold the stick against the wall to create sparks, which yeah, was in DX. However, doing this will allow you to take the turns much faster, and yes, it absolutely makes a difference. Beyond the tutorials, you basically have 2 modes, Score Attack and Adventure. Score Attack is what you'd expect, really. High-octane arcade-style gaming complete with online leaderboards. There's a handful of maps to choose from, some of which even returning from Championship Edition DX in 1. Adventure Mode, on the other hand, is a brand new mode where you need to clear specific objectives and pass subsequent stages. There's surprisingly a large number of missions to choose from, and most of which are incredibly difficult to beat if you plan to get the highest possible rank of a 3-star. Honestly, it's sometimes ridiculous what this game expects from you. I would like to think I'm pretty damn good at the game too, and I say that because it's honestly what I believe, and not just because I have the #1 highest score on the Manhattan map. Hashtag humblebrag. Seriously, I 3-starred everything up to the final world, but then I gave up because I was getting way too stressed trying to pull some of these levels off. Especially 6-4. Like, damn. I've gotten insultingly close, but I just don't have the patience to sit here for an hour while I try to pull it off. Which brings us to the cons of the game. The biggest one I have is, unlike DX, when you start eating a ghost chain, you are locked to that chain. And why? Because the game needs to be all epic with its camera angles? Which, might I add, also screws you over because your visibility has changed. You also can't eat multiple chains simultaneously, and the game makes sure to constantly remind you of that. There's a few other minor gripes I have, such as how preemptively preparing for the next turn will slingshot you back to the previous turn, but the biggest one I've been seeing everywhere is that this game is way too process intensive for a Pac-Man game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game looks nice, but the requirement specs for the game are ridiculous. If you do plan on getting Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, I highly recommend you getting the console version of the game unless you have a high-end PC that can play a game like Fallout 4. And no, that's not a joke, because this game's requirement specs are practically on par with Fallout 4. Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, a game where you eat dots, is as intensive as an open world game like Fallout 4. Yeah, and you thought Fallout 4 was poorly optimized. I mean, I was able to play it alright, but as soon as I started capturing footage, I really started to feel the game slowly die while I was like, come on, you piece of shit. Go! All of this being said, could I still recommend the game? And the answer is, well, yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 isn't perfect by any means, but it still has a level of polish I don't see in many other titles. It's fun, it's addictive, and it's competitive. And from Pac-Man, that's all you really need. Don't let the Pac-Man title fool you though. This game is crazy difficult at times. I'd say how much you enjoy the game is dependent on how fast you can react to sudden situations on the fly, and if reaction-based gameplay appeals to you in the first place. If watching this gameplay interests you in the game, then yeah, I can easily recommend you pick it up. But for everyone else, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 gets a 4.4 out of 5 with the label of chaotic. Hey, thanks for watching, and thanks to all my Patreon supporters. A list of names should be somewhere on the screen right now, that is unless I've been captured by flamboyant Japanese mascots. You know, that happened once. It was really scary. Well, I mean, it was at first, but then... If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you can follow me on my Facebook or my Twitter. As always, links to those in my Patreon will be in the description. Again, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good one.
I like hiking!